This is the Meta 1 month overview reading for the month of October 2023. It's currently August 11th, 2023, 10:43 p.m. Eastern Time. Meta at the time of this reading in the extended hours is currently $301.20 USD. And the shuffle file for the October Meta reading was created on August 1st, 2023 at 1:29 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. So the overall theme and behavior for Meta in October, there's an important resistance level highlighted here on at least a 1 month scale, but from the standpoint of the 1 year, there's a key resistance here that's highlighted. So an important resistance on a multi-day scale, even on a 1 year to date kind of scale. Usually when the truce card is the theme card, it means that we kind of have like overall flat behavior. When we look at September, we've got the sneak preview card was the sorrow card, and it closely correlates to the truce card. So my sense is that we probably see several attempts to break through that resistance, and it's crossed with a decline to and through support. To me, the second support rotates sideways along that support for a bit and then break down through multiple supports. So a decline through multiple support levels at least once here. Behavior around the highest high for the month, we have a prominent move higher and then sideways rotation, successfully turning resistance into new support. So that'll be the behavior near the highs, and then behavior around the lowest low, out of the lowest low or lows. There's going to be a notable move to the upside, probably even in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds or seemingly overwhelming negative technical chart patterns. Whatever the case may be, we go higher even though we expect to go lower. Before we go any further, let's do an update of August. It looks like we probably have a low here. We missed the low there. So we have a low here on the 2nd, 3rd, and you can see we were right about that. I thought that was going to be at least our first lowest low, and we have it there. And then on the 8th, we had a prominent peak, but also there on the 9th turned into another lowest low thus far. And then we had a prominent peak on the 10th as well. So this is pretty solid. I think I probably just left out that we were going to have there's probably a lowest low here, maybe on the 14th, but I think probably on the 10th, followed by a significant prominent crest or peak there, the lowest low here on the 16th, and the big move off of that, right, to reach for prominent crest or peak. But this is looking pretty solid aside from missing that one lowest low, and at the end of the month we should have very likely another lowest low. These may end up not being highest highs. These may end up being prominent peaks or crests, with the lowest low on the 28th and then a lower low on the 31st. That's a possibility as well. Hard to say. It's not advised to change trading strategies or see things differently once Mercury retrograde's influence is upon us, but it hasn't quite switched directions yet, so a little unclear. And then the 1 year is looking pretty solid. So we had a highest high in June, and you could see just at the end of June we had a highest high, and it looks like we had a highest high thus far, ended up being in July rather than in June, but pretty close, within like 2 weeks of June. When we go from that highest high to a prominent trough in July and a prominent peak in July, which also ended up being a highest high, we probably end up all the way down here somewhere pretty soon in Meta. There's a pretty sharp drop there coming, but this reading's looking pretty solid. So the day-by-day chart behavior, on the 2nd we have bumping along resistance, maybe breaking through resistance, but bumping along resistance. There's also probably a prominent trough there. On the 3rd, we have a rally that ends with the halting of a bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through key support on a multi-day scale. There's also a trade opportunity there as well. On the 4th, we have an unexpected move higher, a trade opportunity, and we likely have a lowest low on the 4th or a lowest low on the 5th, but there's like an unexpected move higher out of a lowest low, and then, or lowest low thus far, and then that looks pretty notable. Like if it's somewhere around the cusp here of the 4th, 5th probably, and there's this big move off of it to the upside, big move off of that lowest low thus far, taking us to an opportunity to open up a short position. We'll talk about these trade opportunities here on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th in more detail in the paid version. And for those of you that are interested in the paid version, the way that you get the paid version, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, under our services, SO Meta Posts, scroll down to monthly subscription, and click on the Meta subscription. It's a great way to, it's one of the best ways to support the channel. We definitely remember the names of everybody that's a paid subscriber because they're really the core foundation of the support. And what they're getting is in addition to what you get on the public video, they're getting an additional 3 to 8 to 10 minutes of video where we talk about the best trades that we see for the month. in detail, not just from like the 1 month standpoint, but also from the 1 year standpoint and the multi-year standpoint. So thank you to all those of you that go ahead and support the channel with that paid subscription. Likely a gap down on the 6th with another move to the upside. Decline over the weekend, or gap down over the weekend, decline into midday on the 9th, and then we have a notable rally out of that into a peak or crest around the cusp of the 9th, 10th. We get into some sideways rotation here around the 9th, 10th, and this is where we likely see an attempt to poke through resistance again here around the 11th or around maybe the 13th, but there's sideways rotation in here near a highest high. Significant move to the upside early in the day on the 10th, with sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears inflow and outflow on the 10th, or either that or price swings. On the 11th, we probably open lower, but there's a notable move to the upside. We poke through resistance momentarily, we stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through the same price level shortly thereafter with the full retracement. I'm advised not to chase that rally. That's probably the resistance that we speak of here as the theme card. And then there's sideways rotation on the 12th that ends with a fast sudden move higher, taking us into another peak or crest that'll be overbought territory there on the 13th. Likely a highest high again, breaking through resistance momentarily, and then we break down through that multiple support levels on the 13th into the 16th, where we have a continued decline on the 16th. Sideways rotation on the 12th, establishing support, and then a big move higher, followed by likely a gap down on the 18th to a lowest low. It's either the same low here or possibly a lower low, and out of that lower low there's a prominent move higher and then a full retracement that moved back down to see the low again. So a peak on the cusp of the 18th, 19th, or early in the day on the 19th, where we have multiple failed attempts to break through resistance, and then we have a decline with a prominent move back down to that lowest low again. So you probably see that like twice there between the 18th and the 19th. There's a brief peak on the 20th, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. On the 23rd, we have some sideways rotation and a big move to the upside, sitting out on a multi-day scale there around the cusp of the 23rd, 24th, where I don't think the highest high is actually here on the 24th. My sense is that the highest high is probably closer to the 26th or the 27th. I'm getting the correlation here on the 24th, but there's also a lot indicating that it's more like here on the 25th, 6th, or 27th. There's likely a prominent trough here, probably close to these lows, but not quite. And then we have a rally along a diagonal trend line on the 25th that ends with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. Big move to the upside on the 20th, breaking through resistance momentarily, and then breaking back down through that same price level shortly thereafter, creating a new local high. And then we push the upper end of a range higher here on the 27th, so it's likely that this area here is the third time that we poke through that resistance. Volatility on the 30th, and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility. A trade opportunity on the 30th there as well that I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version. The 24th, there was a trade opportunity as well. It's possible we have a lowest low here on the 31st. Either that or it's a prominent trough again. Sneak preview for November, we have a notable move to the upside, offering opportunity to open up a short position, and it looks like we're already kind of ahead on things. So this late October card is actually appearing early in October. So my sense is that we're ahead of schedule on the sequence of events once we go into November, and we should see another highest high here in November, or on the cusp of November, December. That's meta for October. Don't forget to follow that rule of karma, guys. You do so here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, where we ask that you donate 5% of the profits forward to one of these charities, effectively transmuting the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill, creating abundance mind in your own mind, and then donate 5% of the profits back to the channel here in one of these click here links as well. Effectively having gratitude mentality, supporting the channel, and that leaves you with 90% of the money left over. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you do that, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel, my friends. Stay tuned if you got the paid version. We're going to get into that next. Much love to you and all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.